Yeah, you see what I'm talking about. That's what yeah, I looked at it, I noticed that. Yeah, my microphone just this thing randomly just doesn't want goes to no microphone. I don't know why that's a thing. I just started recording. I'm like, wait a minute. Good thing I looked at it. My voice is not hit. That's so stupid. Did you have this problem? Does anybody else have this problem with OBS where it does that? Yeah, it's annoying. That's the problem that mine does. I showed you right there where mine does. It will randomly say default nothing. It will be disabled. Anyway, we're back with more. Larry Boy and the Bad Apple disc swapping glitch, which is insane. Because what this game does is it reads entire discs, it reads files for a very long period of time. It will eventually give up, just like what BFBB Auto Glitch does, where it scans all the files. Well, it only scans the levels you visit. That BFBB is only GameCube SpongeBob Arena Glitch isn't as extreme as this, but it's similar. Yeah, it actually is very similar to this glitch, where it scans the files, but it's only the levels you go to. This will, when you put ever discs in, it just reads all the files one by one. But it will eventually give up. But you can pretty much go through entire discs with this. You can go through entire discs with it, like all the time. Well, sometimes it will fix itself. Most times it reads entire discs. The only game I can't finish is Sly 3, because Sly 3 is for some reason too much. There's too much data in the disc, and I can't get through the entire Sly 3 game. It will only get to a Cold Alliance, where the Panda King and the General Shao. Yeah, you know that level. Yeah, you can't get past that level. It goes into that point. So it plays a Opera of Fear. For those that play Sly 3, they know. Yeah, it plays the Opera of Fear. It plays the tutorial level. Well, when you first disc up with Sly 3, it reads all the damn cutscenes. Which you can't hear the cutscenes because they're all static. You can kind of make out some voice clips, but it's all static. And it reads those for let's just say a flip in 2 hours. I have to do something else while it's doing that, because it takes forever. With turbo mode, it's a little bit quicker. But after it gets past all the cutscenes, then it reads the levels. First it reads the Hazard Room, Opera of Fear, Wubba Down Under, the level of the Guru, the level with the Guru, Flight of Fancy, which is Penelope in the Black Baron / Penelope, same character, and then it gets to a Code Alliance. So that's as far as I can get. Then it will give up. It won't go through the entire Sly 3 disc, which really does suck, by the way. But I can get through the entire Sly 2 disc, well, sometimes, depending where I cause the glitch. But yeah, that game, Sly 3 is such a long game that it won't finish it. Because this game reads files for what more? It can read a CD for 25 hours. I'm not even joking. Because it has to go through all the files. It can read something for a very long period of time, but it will eventually give up. Yeah, it won't go. It will eventually give up. That's basically how this glitch works. Swap discs, talk to them, start a conversation with Alfred or random people, and then what will happen is that it will start. You notice that it just starts to scan the CD. Even when the conversation ends, it keeps going. It's amazing. It's really weird. Anyway, today we're going to show you something cool, though. Okay. This is one of my modified PS2. One of my modified PS2 BFBBs. Well, one of them. I got tons of them. This poor computer. I have to get rid of some stuff. It's so much stuff on here. My hard drive is literally at the red. I literally am gonna have to. I know, it's just a pain. But anyway, so this is so how Larry Band Apple works is when you disk swap with it, it starts with a certain file, like right here. It will go in the folder and read one by one. I deleted a lot of files because I don't want it to play all the hub files. I want it to get to my custom folder. So it's gonna start in here, and where it starts with this area, when I talk to Alfred, with the first text box this is the very first text box after he tells you, when he first opened a new game. This is the very first text box, his first screen text box, I guess I can call it. That's the one we did it with. He tells you, use the way, the camera to look around or whatever. It's whatever dialogue it was. And this is my modified disc we put in, so it's reading that. That's the cutscene we did it with, the very first conversation. And where it starts with this conversation box, it starts with, as usual, HB1. Sometimes it reaches the HB0, most times it's HB1. And if I had the entire neighborhood files in here, it would be going through the entire thing. You know, all the way to theater. I don't want to do that, so I did that. So it's got because I wanted to get to my custom, because you can't tell it what file to start with. This is disc swapping. You can't tell it what file to start with. So wherever it starts, it's going to start there and then go down, down, down. So if it starts here, it's going to go from here to here. Then it will open up the next folder and look and read whatever's in it. And BFBB does not normally have an HB1 folder, so we added custom stuff to here. Why I'm making a video on this, because this is something I really found that's cool. These are VAG files, raw. Yeah, you heard me right. VAG files for PS2, raw. These are not things from EverDiscs. This isn't... Well, actually, I do have a file from an EverDisc. I have... In here, we have Chicken Little. B file. I called it B because it goes... I want it to start from here. So that's how you do this. If you want to modify a PS2 BFBB, you can modify any PS2 game. I mod BFBB, so I know how to play around with the game. So, in the folders and shit. So... but if you want to do layer board disk swapping even weirder than usual, yeah, you can modify your game and make it play those files when it reaches that folder. If you did edit the PS2 files, let's say you can make your own voice clips, you can record your own voice and put it in here, and then it will read it when it gets to that thing. If you name it, if it's a VAG file like these, I programmed for that, but I made a video on it. I'll pull it up there on the video to show you what it is. But in a second, I'll pull it up. These are VAG files, and these are raw. You know, remember how in the last video I said what I did was I first recorded a custom sound, and then I went into HB1, which is the file. I opened Industrial Park. For those that don't know what Industrial Park is, for those that are new to my videos, don't mod BFBB or a movie game. Or, well, if you want to go in order, Scooby-Doo Never 100 Frights, SpongeBob movie games, Scooby-Doo Never 100 Frights, BFBB, SpongeBob movie game, and then all the Incredibles and other stuff, that kind of stuff. But what I did before is I replaced Mr. Krabs' voice clips from Neighborhood. It only tells you about get shiny objects for him and all that, your treasure chest looking a bit late, boy. Do you think I got Bill Water on the brain? I ain't winning a charity here. Come back when you got enough shiny objects to trade. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Well, we replaced his lines. We put my voice clips or my custom sounds with him. I replaced him with mine. But these aren't replacement files. These are straight up raw VAG files. There's raw files in there, but yeah, these are raw. BFBB, and FOP Music 1. Yeah. These are raw. And they work. They actually work. That's the funny thing about this, is as a disc swap, a normal VAG file can be played. And since you're disc swapping, whatever pitch the audio is, if this is kind of a deep voice, right? It's kind of like deep, like this. You're going to hear it in a second, I'll show you it. It's going to be that same pitch. Yeah, raw VAG files don't have the problem Over the Hedge has, or Ever Games, where it's like really quick. Yeah, and for me to get to play normally, I have to make sure it's a deep voice. This is a deep voice, and then Over the Hedge voices won't be as fast. No, normal VAG files actually are the same pitch as the disc swap. Whatever BFBB started with, whatever game you decide to swap with, whatever pitch the audio is, these will be the same exact pitch. So this won't be faster or slower. And these actually read. These read in here. How? I guess disc swapping doesn't... Yeah, that's really weird. These actually play on their own. I used Audacity, not GameCube. I used a later one. exported the file as a as a wave. Then I use the PS2 program to make it VAG. So and these work by default. You don't have to do. These won't work in mods, obviously, but I'm talking for disk swapping. It will read these files still for you. It will read these files, and then files that you put in here, read them. And then if you want to throw whatever games in here, like Chicken Little, I put a sound file in there. Hopefully it's got everything included into it. I don't know. I don't know how to open these things, actually. I asked TechZ, I asked other people how to... Yeah, I don't know how to open these. Yeah, it sucks. If anybody watches this video and you like, if you know this, can you please help me with this? If you know this shit, I would appreciate it. Because I don't know how to open these. If you do mod and you do open these files, the PS2, I would appreciate it. If you know how to do this, can you please help me with this? Because I don't know how to open these. I want to access these files and go in the folder. Yeah, these are... Yeah, any PS2 game. I don't know how to access these files. Like how to get into it. This is a HDG thing. But sometimes it's ABC, sometimes it's... Yeah, if you know how to open these files, how to get into them, please tell me, because I appreciate it, because I don't know how to do that. I always ask TechZ for help, or Robustus Archive, or other people, and they're always helpful. Yeah, I always appreciate asking those people for help, and they're always helpful. But, yeah, if you have problems modding BFBB, you can always ask TechZ, TechTrackZ, or whatever. And Robustus Archive 1 and 2, both channels, and there's another YouTuber that I don't know if he mods the game, but he plays a lot of mods for movie. But I don't know. I think he does make mods, but you can probably ask him too. But yeah, like the BFBB community is always helpful as anything. Like, and you can ask me too if you need help problems. Yeah, if you have problems with something with modding, if you have problems modding BFBB and other games that are in the Heavy Iron games. If you have problems with something, I would help you too. I make the tools for this series. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. My Molly Toast series, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know, but I'm kind of late to this. I know everybody else has already learned how to mod this game, but I didn't mod this game until 2021. So yeah. But my Toast series is always up there on my YouTube channel. If you want to learn things that you might not know about, it's on my channel. You can look those up. But yeah, if you guys know how to open those files, can please how to open PS2 archived files. Yes, I use 7-zip, but I don't know how to open the archived files. If anybody takes part in that and knows how to do that, please help me with that. I'm not familiar with how to do that. I know how to mod BFBB because the Industrial Park allows you to open files, and get to them. And I have other programs like for other games that can access files, but I don't know how to do it for PS2. It's just straight up annoying. Like, for example, the Hit and 1 PC game. I do mod Hit and 1 PC a little, too. And, yeah, you guys were probably wondering, is that series going to come back? Yeah, don't worry, I still like modding. I still like Hit and 1. I have just took a break from it. A very, 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 very long break. Because I play that game, like, almost every day. When I finally got the PC version, I just play it like hell. So, because it's one of those games that I never knew I didn't know how to install it, right? Or how to play it. So I would look at YouTube videos and how people playing that all these mods and making their mods and hacking Hit and Run. I'm like, gee, I don't want to do that. I want to do that, but I don't know how to do that. So when I finally got access to the PC version, I played living hell with it because I finally got it. So I played it so much. So going back to it now would be a treat because I haven't played it since Christmas. We haven't made a video on Hit and Run. I haven't played Hit and Run myself, PC version, since before Christmas. The last video you guys saw my channel of Hit and Run. That's the last time I played PC Hit and Run. I played PS2 Hit and Run a little bit, but I haven't played the PC version in that long. Anyway, so I'm going to show you a bit of custom audio. This is stuff from YouTube. Don't worry, YouTube. This isn't custom. This isn't copyright music. This is not copyright music, YouTube. YouTube.com. Don't worry. It's not copyright music, but... God dang it. I swear. My Fallout Prince video got copyright, okay, I have to give credit here. I took some audio from this video, BFBB Oddities. Glitches and Oddities, I think. It's this one and this one. What a great YouTuber, though. I don't know. I'm sad he hasn't made videos in a while. It's been like literally a long time. Like he has some good videos. Sadly, he hasn't posted in like I don't know how long. Well, I mean, look at this. 4 years ago. Oh, 4 years ago. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, let's not even go there. But yeah, like honestly though. So the good videos and but yeah, so some stuff is taken from that. So. But back to this. My fellow Prince Back in the Wolves music, scary horror music video. My flippin' video got copyright. No, the video is on YouTube, but it says some countries can't watch it because I got copyright music in there. You know what the copyright music's probably from? The flippin' start screen. I was like, what, 8 seconds on the start screen? 8 seconds. 8 seconds I got copyright. For heaven's sakes! I'm not recording the whole song. I just played a bit of the theme song from the start screen. I can't help. I didn't. Oh my god, they're so strict with that these days. The copyright stuff is just getting ridiculous. Like I get it if you're recording the whole stuff, if you're sitting there recording half a spun episode, but if you're recording a little snippet, or like a little part, come on, like they're getting too strict with that these days. I really do think. I get if it's a little bit. That's not. I get no. That's stupid. But if you're recording like a lot of it, I understand that. But a little bit, come on. Like that's just that's kind of silly though. Just really. So this is custom audio, and remember, these are raw VAG files being played. These are not Mr. Krabs' voice clips I replaced. I didn't replace Mr. Krabs with my VAG files. No, these are just raw, and they will play in disc swapping form. Yeah. So I don't have to go in BFE and sacrifice Mr. Krabs' voice lines and have to, it's a very tedious process. Because first I have to record the custom audio. Then I have to use the PS2 program to make it compatible. Then I have to open Audacity Park and then find a voice clip to replay. Yeah, it's just too much. So luckily I found a way to do this without having to do that step. The Audacity Park step on top of it. You just got to record the audio and make it compatible with PS2. I'm going to bring up that program I'll bring up that PS2 program again. Yeah, this program right here. So, you record, you open and then you look for your custom audio, and then you're going to see in here a VAG, you switch to VAG. There's a tab, you click that here. And then you find VAG, click save as, save it where you want, and put it where you want, and then you click it'll perform. That's what it does. So, well, yeah. So there you go. So and once you finish doing all that, then you can just put it in a BFTB, your custom BFTB. Make a file called HB1. So that's how I do this stuff, because you don't want it to. How Larry Boy works is I told you how it goes through all the files in order, one by one by one. Wherever it starts. So if you want it to go to your custom, if your custom files are, if you name it like something that makes it go up here, like if you name it B something, whatever you want to name it, it's going to be up here. And if it starts reading the files from here, like it usually does, you're going to hear them. So you're going to have to name it HB1. So that it will finish reading the files that are in here. And I recommend removing like HB6, HB7. You don't have to keep it, that way you don't have to go through them as much. I just have a couple of them. And then once it finishes these files, it's going to go to my custom folder, which is HB1, and read what's in there and all this. And then it's going to go to my second custom folder, which has Chicken Little stuff. Hopefully that's in there. And then this is Simpsons game audio. I don't know. I have to find what file it's in. I found it the other day on my laptop, so I gotta figure that out. I don't remember what I did. Yes, I got the Simpsons game audio to work. So I'm gonna have to make a video on that at some point too. Yeah, we actually got the Simpsons game audio to play. Now the weirdest thing is, yeah, I know. So that's that. So this is the glitches and oddities a little bit, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of this. And then so this is from YouTube. I told you the YouTuber, so I'm not taking credit from that. I'm just going to show you what this sounds like. So this is custom VAG files raw. So here we go. I did explain all that stuff, so hope you, yeah, so that's good. I'll show you guys this now.
Also be disabled, so be a little more careful when traveling out of bounds.
I did start this half. I played half a little bit of this myself, so it's not the start of it, but you know what I mean.
Skipping boss fights. Battle for Bikini Bottom has 3 mini-bosses, being King Jellyfish, Prawn, and the Flying Dutchman, as well as 3 main bosses, Robot Sandy, Robot Patrick, and Robot SpongeBob. The ones I'm going to be talking about are King Jellyfish, Prawn, the Flying Dutchman, and Robot SpongeBob. The less said about Robot Sandy and Robot Patrick, the better. First, let's start with King Jellyfish. This boss fight takes place within the first level of the game and is fairly easy. His patterns are similar, however, when you hit him, he spawns more jellyfish each time. Come to find out, if you don't even fight King Jellyfish until you've unlocked the cruise missile, you can come back to him and essentially skip the entire fight by quickly shooting him 3 times with the cruise missile. The developers didn't interpret you coming back with an Area 3 power-up to fight an Area 1 boss fight. Next is Prawn, the Flying Dutchman, and Robot SpongeBob, who all share a common theme. You can access debug triggers and completely skip their fights, and obtain their spatulas as well. All of the debug triggers are located directly above the player's spawn. They are all essentially out of bounds, but you don't need Hans disabled for any of them. The reason some boss fights have debug triggers and others do not is because different developers worked on different boss fights. Some devs left in their debug triggers while others didn't. Stunning a monsoon. Battle for Bikini Bottom has a lot of unique robots. The Monsoon, who is first seen in Goo Lagoon, makes an appearance in nearly every level after that. Since they are one of the only robots who are exclusive to the air, the Monsoon cannot be stunned by Patrick's slam attack. In Battle for Bikini Bottom, Patrick has a move that stuns some of the larger robots like the Hammerbot and the G-Love, and destroys some of the smaller robots like the Fodder. However, there is a location in Kelp Caves where Patrick can get on the same level as the Monsoon. Once he uses his slam attack on the robot, the game flat out crashes. This is because the game doesn't know what to do when the Monsoon gets stunned, as the robot wasn't given an animation. This is until a runner by the name of Jared's Giants made a video showing off a unique property in the Goo Lagoon Caves. By slamming into the bus stop as Patrick and changing into SpongeBob right after, SpongeBob gains the odd effect where every robot he runs into is harmed by the slam that was stored when changing characters. I like to compare it to the Infinite Sword glitch in Ocarina of Time, as in that game it acts more or less the same here. Hilariously, reaching the Monsoon while in this state doesn't crash the game and actually visually stuns the robot. It still, however, does not have an exclusive stun animation. Small oversights. The last thing I want to touch on in this video is the many strange and virtually unnoticeable oversights the developers left in. After boarding the Flying Dutchman's ship, the goal is to get to the robot ship and destroy all the lasers. Once that's done, the player has to go back to the Dutchman's ship and fire all the cannons so the robot ship goes down. Or so you would think. It turns out you don't even have to go to the robot ship at all. You can just activate the cannons on the Dutchman's ship. The cutscene shows that the cannons fire did nothing as the lasers took them out, but opening the pause screen shows a warp that was created to fight the Flying Dutchman. This next one is virtually unnoticeable. Whenever the player gets hit, after the damage animation plays, they have a single frame to perform a certain action, be it a jump or a bash. This one frame where you can perform an extra jump or gain extra height is great for creating massive shortcuts. Skipping the sock in Goo Lagoon that takes an eternity's Patrick can be done in a few seconds if you choose to perform a triple jump near this lifeguard tower. Another instance of a one-frame trick being abused is in Sandy Stream. Normally the player has to traverse the longest slide in the entire game in order to get the spatula on top of the acorn. However, if the player performs a one-frame bash on the slide along with a separate trick that boosts your movement speed, it's possible to skip the entire slide. This last one is really cool to show off. In the level Rock Bottom, there is a shiny object hidden underneath Mrs. Puff. For years, people didn't know what the shiny object was for. Eventually, collecting it revealed that it was a debug trigger to signal the player had collected all 6 paintings hidden around Rock Bottom. I was recently recommended a video explaining Mario 64's Iceberg, and I thought it was a very interesting and well-made video, and it definitely had me thinking about it for the following days. And after receiving a DM from PS4 Star giving me the idea to make a video on Battle for Bikini Bottom's own Iceberg, I jumped at the opportunity. Today we are going to be going over BFBB's own mysterious iceberg. Enjoy.
Sleep paralysis, a phenomenon in which the body is frozen in a state of sleep, but the mind remains fully conscious of its surroundings. A person is able to move his or her eyes to look around their room, but are completely unable to move the rest of their body. Though only a small percentage of the population can be described as frequent sufferers, at some point in each of our lives, there is a chance that, without warning, we'll suffer from an episode of sleep paralysis ourselves, and be plunged somewhere between our dream and reality. There are ways of inducing sleep paralysis, though this is not recommended for the following reason. Though sleep paralysis isn't dangerous by itself, for many, these episodes are frequently accompanied by extremely realistic hallucinations that seep in from our dreams. Unfortunately, though there are reports of people having pleasant visions, there are a vast number of accounts where people have experienced some truly horrifying encounters. These range from ghosts to demons and even alien abductions. Other symptoms include a crushing feeling upon one's chest, difficulty in breathing, and an overwhelming feeling of fear and dread. These experiences feel so realistic, they can have a psychological impact on the sufferer's daily lives, and in some rare instances, harmful physical reactions. Here are but a handful of true stories experienced by those unlucky enough to be visited by these dream specters. I used to have sleep paralysis on a monthly basis. Most of the incidents were basically the same. I'd be sleeping on my back. I could see the room but couldn't move my eyes. Usually dark figures would appear in the peripheral of my vision. The figures would terrify me. I had to scream myself awake, usually starting as a low growl and developing into a scream. My significant other could testify to this, but a few occasions stand out. Once I had a dark figure whisper into my ear. It was some sort of nursery rhyme. The craziest part of it is that it was in mono. I could only hear it in the ear that was being whispered into. The scariest was when I was surrounded by dark figures and they were stabbing me in the abdomen. The pain was so intense, I went to the hospital that morning because my appendix had burst. Sleep paralysis for me, apart from the obvious paralysis part, is usually accompanied by sheer, unimaginable terror. It takes different forms, but it tends to be a pitch-black creature of some sort, and all I can say is it's 100 times more terrifying than anything you could imagine while you're sitting there fully awake and conscious. You imagine and visualize this thing, which you have no escape from, and there's nothing you can do apart from hoping it ends soon. Also, you might try and move or speak, but you never really know if you're doing it in real life or in this semi-dream state. It takes a tremendous amount of effort either way. I remember once waking up in sleep paralysis and trying to call to someone, and hearing my brother on the other side of the door ask me if I was trying to talk to him. My brother doesn't live with me, but it seemed absolutely real at that moment. Not mine, but this is what my friend told me when he had a sleep paralysis episode. He woke up but noticed his body couldn't move, so he just sat there looking forward. He started hallucinating because he was half asleep. He sees a weird man hobble into his room and next to his bed. He can't see him anymore because he's in the blind spot next to the bed. After waiting in fear for a few minutes, he pops his face right in front of his head and he's covered in blood. I hear my back door being forced open. Lying on the couch, I can't stir myself. I hear hurried footsteps crossing the linoleum in the kitchen, then the hardwood in the dining area, getting closer to where I am in the living room. I can't move, I can't even yell out. I manage to regain consciousness at the last possible moment before I likely suffocate due to my sleep apnea. This happens about 50 to 70% of the time I pass out drunk on the couch, 100% if I'm on my back. I know someday I'm going to die like that. Not from an actual intruder, but dreaming of my end, and then realizing it while I'm suffocating. The nightmares I have due to sleep apnea have made me nuts. I have a few different sleep paralysis demons, and one sort of sleep paralysis guardian angel. The demon ones are usually shadowy figures standing over me or by my bedroom door. The worst one was when I was lying on my side with my back to the bedroom door, and it felt like someone got into the bed behind me. Under the covers, they put their arm around my waist. Then it felt like they were cuddling into me, and I could feel their breath on my neck. It felt like they had cuddled me for about half an hour. All this time I'm trying not to show that I'm panicked because it feels like I'm getting cuddled by a skeleton with claws. It was only about the second, maybe third time I'd had sleep paralysis, so I nearly have a heart attack, when it feels like this thing's moving in closer to kiss me behind the ear. Worst of all, it whispered, "Not yet. You're not ready yet. I'll come back when you are." To me, it sounded disappointed and excited. It felt like it was silently telling me that it was coming back when I was about to die. This scared the fucking shit out of me. My sleep paralysis guardian angel was a weird experience. I'd been getting sleep paralysis on and off for about 18 months by this point, so I could usually tell straight away when it was happening. At first I thought this was the usual demon thing beside my bed, but when I looked properly I realized I could see a man kneeling next to my bed, smiling at me. It wasn't a creepy smile, more like a parent coming in to check on their kid. He looked like he was dressed in a 50s style suit and hat. He didn't say anything, although I got the sense he was letting me know everything was alright, and he'd look after me. I would usually only have this happen to me a few times, but lately it's happening every night. It usually starts with me feeling as if I'm being stared at from my closet, shadows darting across the room or a deep voice speaking gibberish. After this I break out into a sweat and can't move at all. After a while I feel a heavy weight on my chest and arms, as if someone is sitting on me. Then I feel freezing cold hands start to choke me. I start thrashing my arms and try to scream for help, but just quiet whimpers are all I can manage. This happens almost every night now, even during the day when I nap.
Yeah.
But as you can see, that's the problem with Chicken Little and Over the Hedge and some other games. Actually, quite a few of them. Is the voice files and the audio is always fast as anything. And the only way to make it slower is to find a very, very deep voice in Larry Boy. Like, it has to be very deep, not like slow as hell, but just very deep. And this is like deep. Right now, it's kind of like this. Wait, like sleep paralysis. It's kind of like that kind of voice, so it's not very deep. So Chicken Little by default is kind of fast, and Over the Hedge would be the same thing. Now, how I get those games to work for you guys with the normal voices and or deep voices, not very fast, very, very fast chipmunks. I have to find a spot in this game where the voices are not. I have to swap with a disc that's slow, or well, it's not always slow, but it has to be a deeper pitch. That's what I'm trying to say. Then when you reach those files, or you pause and swap with Chicken Little. I put Chicken Little audio in the FVB because it straight up works for some reason. You can just throw it in there and it will read it as a swap. I'm not even joking. It's a lot quicker that way. Because Chicken Little and Meet the Robinsons have the voice files so far in the discs. A lot of these games, the voice files are very deep into the discs. So in sound, the good stuff, the sound effects and voices is what you want to do with disc swapping. Music's cool too. But my favorites are the most people will probably agree is the sounds and voices, and most games they're so flipping deep into the disc, or some games they're the second file on the CD, like the Simpsons game, where it's like a very early folder, but since it leads farther in, you're not going to hear them, or it's the very last folder, so you have to go through every single stinking file just to get to the sounds and voices, because the sound and voice files are like the last freaking folder. So I just take the file out of the game. I just copied it, and then I just pasted it in a custom BFB folder called, first it's called HB2. Then you would open that, you would open the B folder, and I put it in there. So this is Chicken Little audio, sounds and audio, and there we go, it works. But you're not gonna hear it in normal pitch. See, I already put disc swap video for Chicken Little. It's on my channel. You can watch it. I'm not gonna play this whole thing, but yeah, I got it to be a normal kind of pitch. Well, actually, it was, it was actually normal. I don't know what I did. Don't remember how deep does it have to be? The voice we did do it with was deep. I guess does it have to be like, okay, I'm going to probably do it with the movie game, with Goofy Goober Rock, where it's very, like, if you do that with movie game, Alfred's second text box, which tells you to click the musical notes, it'll be like very deep music, Goofy Goober Rock music. So I can probably pause and swap. Start with movie, then pause and swap with this custom BFBB and just get to that folder, and then it'll probably be normal voices or something. But yeah, so you can hear it's very damn fast, because that's we can look at the file name. It's a HOG, and my if this was my file, if I recorded this audio as a VAG, there is audio. I don't know how to open these. I guess if anybody knows how to open these PS2 audio files, please let me know. I help people with the tutorial videos. I've always helped people out. If somebody knows this stuff, I appreciate it. If somebody would help me with this, please, because I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to open these stupid things. And if anybody on my YouTube channel ever comes across this video knows how to open PS2 archive sound files, please let me know, because I don't know how to do it, and I don't flipping know. There's no tutorial on there, and people do it. I don't know how people do that stuff. So if you know how to do it, please let me know, because I would really appreciate it. Though, great, someone will explain that. Like what program you would use or how you do it. It's probably different for every freaking game though. But if you know how to do it for Sly 2 or Sly 3, like Sly Cooper 2 and 3, or these kind of files, please let me know, because I would like to. That way I can get to them without having. I can look at the files myself, but I don't know how to access these files. So yeah, I've asked other people that mod BFBB, and they don't know how to. Yeah, they're not sure about that either. They get it from website, so I could get it from website, but I want to ask. Yeah, not all of them. Every game has website. Well, games that don't have I sometimes do YouTube videos of all voice clips, so I can record it that way, and then I can put it in here as a swap. I can do that too. But I want to do it like, it's always cool taking it from the CD itself and just dumping it in and having it play. Because yeah, you want to do that. It's a good. I'm very happy I learned this trick because I don't have to go through all the flipping files of Chicken Little just to get to those voice files, or all the files of Meet the Robinsons to get to the voice files, or all the files of whatever game that we do. Madagascar 1. Yeah, there are a lot of games I figured out a workaround for grabbing the files and just dumping them in. So, because realistically, if you do it with this game, it will take 6 hours or 7 hours to get to the voice files because it reads nothing but static for forever. Yeah, the voice files are so far in because it reads the entire CD, including everything that's in the disc, everything that's in the game. It's not just audio files this game reads. It reads the entire CD and everything in it. So if the voice files are like the last folder in the damn game, yeah, getting them is gonna take a while. So that's why I found this trick by just grabbing the voice files out. And then I can put them in a custom BFBB folder, PS2. So when it reaches the file called HB2, it's going to open a file called B, and it's going to play it, like it's doing right now. But as you can see, normal disc swapping doesn't do this kind of stuff. And it only plays a bit of a CD, then it will either give up or it will play a bit, loop. Play a bit, loop. It doesn't keep reading the... Yeah, see, this game is crazy, dude. I'm so glad I found this glitch in this game. It's sick. You can make a custom sound test. You can just play it like a sound... It's literally a sound test for you. It's really cool. Yeah, like, it's neat. You can just play entire like discs with it, and then if you can even go farther if you mod on the actual PS2, you can't like make your own custom audio or take files out of ever discs. Like if you want the sound files to play that and not have to go through the entire game to get to them, and there's a lot of games you have to. Yeah, you literally have to put I literally before I knew about this, some of these games I would have to turn on turbo mode on PS2, PCX2. Turn on turbo mode, and it makes it a little quicker, but it still takes some time. I would have to watch YouTube or mod or do something else because the voice files are so far into the disc. To get to them, it has to go through everything. So Chicken Little, for example, is like the last or second last folder or whatever. I don't remember. I just opened the game 5 seconds ago. Let me just. I'm gonna pull this up for you and show you it, actually. I can really do that right now. Okay. So what you can do is, actually guys, so if you want to take files out of ever PS2 games, if you want to extract the archived files, I'm not sure how to do that right now, but if anyone knows how to do this, please leave a comment in my video, and because it'll be helpful. But if you want to just take files out of PS2 games, you can, instead of having to extract it with 7-zip, you can do that too, but you can also straight up do this. You right-click the file. If you don't want to open it, you don't have to make and have more files on your desk, on your computer, so you can open it like this. Right-click the file, and then go to where it says, I'm on Windows 11, by the way, so this might look different, but I'm on Windows 11, so keep that in mind. Open with, and then you click on Windows Explorer, and there you go. It doesn't extract the ISO. It just opens it as so you can get to the files, and we can look at this. This is data. So it's in the data file. The data file is not, thankfully in this game, it's not archived, so you can actually open this. But let's look for the sound file. As you can see, it's the second last file here. There it is. Yeah, I don't know what file it starts with Larry Boy Disc Swapping Chicken Little. I don't know what file it starts with. I'm gonna guess maybe it's here. I don't know. It could be the very first file, or it could be here. I don't know, but it leaves everything that's in these files. So everything that's in here, and this takes like 6 stinking hours because a lot of stuff apparently. I don't know why it has to take that long to get through them, but whatever. And then it will finally get to the voice file, sounds and voices for Chicken Little. And then also music. Apparently everything's in this file, or this, I don't know. But at first, the sound effects are first, then the voices are after, and they play. You can play every. Yeah, it's sick. You have to hear all the characters, but you can't like. So that's what. That's how you do. That's how that works. So there you go. You can and you can grab the file. You can copy it, and then you're not removing it. You're just copying. You just copy it, and then you put it in your custom BFBB folder. I use BFBB for templates for this because I know how to mod BFBB, so I just use that game to full custom stuff in there. You could technically use any PS2 game, and then you do this game. Leaderboard, you swap with this, you play this, and then you swap with your custom game. And it will, once it gets to that file, it's going to play them. That's neat. If you don't do this trick, you're going to have to wait 6-8 hours to get to the voice files for some of these games. So, luckily I learned this trick, so thank heavens, because it's just annoying.
Hey.
Yeah, I made a mistake. I guess the Chicken Little voice clips are in a are actually in the bottom file. I thought the sounds actually have the sounds and the voices. No, they're not in that folder. Damn it. So they're in the bottom folder. So I don't. It's not gonna play those. Okay, that's actually a good thing though, because the sound files, there's so many of them. Like if you just want to hear the voice files, you can just grab them on their own. Okay. I can go in the game and grab the bottom folder. I guess it's in there. I don't know. Some of these games, it's obvious. The folder's called sounds or clips or something, and other times it's in this archive thing, and it's still archived. But luckily, the folder itself is called sounds. So even though they're archived, you can still grab them and then do disk swapping with them. I can't mod with them because they're in an archive, but that's why if anyone knows how to do this, I would appreciate if you would help me with that. If you guys, anyone knows how to get PS2 archive files, how to open them and get access to the folders, because I don't know how to do that. So yeah, there's other people that don't know how to do that. I've asked other people, they don't know. So if you know how to do this, if anyone knows how to do this that watches this video, please help me with that, because I don't know how the hell that works. I would like to actually, access the folders. Maybe that's going to be the end for this video. Actually, it isn't. We're at the Simpsons game files now, so I'm gonna have to play this. If this actually reads them, actually, I'll make that on its own. Well, yeah, no. This video is literally called I'm gonna be calling this video some more cool things I found with disk swapping. This isn't meant for Simpsons game. At some point, I'm gonna do something cool with this. Now I know how to swap files and mix stuff around. So So it's not in the sound file. So grab this one because it goes in order. Excuse. It goes in order. So I'm gonna guess. Oh, it does say. Yeah. I thought I wasn't looking at it, but yeah. I thought they were all in this one. Okay, so there's. Well, it's gotta be in this folder because yeah, it definitely is. Because the sound file, the sound folder, I thought they were all in there. So that's nice. They're actually separate. Meet the Robinsons, I think they're separate too, or they're not separate. They're both made by the same developer, by the way. If you didn't know this, Chicken Little and Meet the Robinsons are made by the same developer. Forget the name of the company. Starts with an A or whatever. I don't know. I haven't looked at it a while, but they both made these games, so if you know how, that's what's good about this. If they're the same developers, the file system will be similar. And these games, they're archived, but at least I can just grab the folders. Because if I don't do this trick, it's gonna have to. If I do Larry Boy swapping with this game, like raw on its own, it's gonna have to go through everything that's in these files, and it takes like. I told you, it takes you flipping effing 8 hours. It takes 6 hours. 5 hours. No. It's about 5 hours. I think with using speed hacks, it's really maybe 3 hours something. maybe 2 hours. I don't remember. I don't remember, but normally it'll probably be a lot longer. Because for whatever reason, it takes forever. You think it won't read these files for long. There's a lot of data in the PS2 game, so it just goes through a bunch of white noise, like, forever. Yeah, so it's not fun. The only thing I like about this is the sounds and voices, and maybe music, but mostly it's sounds and voices. That's what I like about we all like about disc swapping. But the flipping things are always gonna play like the flipping like all white noise because it's reading everything. It's like just hardcore data. It's not reading the actual because it's reading data files, not sounds. So to get to those files, it's like it could be anywhere, depending on what game you're using. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. See you guys next video. Bye.